Good morning and welcome to a I can't say the word very enough, special edition of Truth to Power. I'm your host, Darwin Griffin, and I have two faces here with me today that you probably have been living in another universe if you don't recognize these two faces that I have with me today to go along with this journey, this pre-Christmas journey that we're going to take you on today with us. And it's hard for me to kind of make a statement without being this lady's co-host for 8 years that we were on the radio together. Rain or shine, sleet or snow. And we were doing it, and I have to give this lady credit because she was there every day, Monday through Friday. Sometimes 2 hours a day, sometimes even 5 hours a day. She would do a morning show and she would do an afternoon show or an evening show. Whatever was asked of her, she was right there and she would do it, and she did it with grace, elegance, and professionalism. I can't say enough about the queen of all that she touches and all the people that she touches, Livonia Perryman.
Thank you so very much. I think my claim to fame is that I happen to be Darwin's friend.
That's what I always say to everybody too. See, she stole it from me. I say that same thing. I always say I'll say FOL, Friends of Livonia. So that's how I'll say it. Or FOR, Friends of Roy. And I'm like one of those Friends of Roy. I guess that I'm gonna let you do this since you are the master at introductions and lifting people up. Livonia, I'll ask you to introduce our other guest on the show today.
Our other guest is someone that I met some time ago, and I met him doing the right thing, serving the people. And I said it then and I say it again, that I met a public servant, truly not a politician in the word politician, but you actually have been serving and continue to serve the community, and that's no other than Mr. Roy McAllister. Thank you. I'm just very pleased to be in your mix right here.
No, it's an honor for me to be in your presence, Livonia, as well as Darwin's presence, because you folks have uplifted so many people through the years, and this is what we need. This is what we're getting away from, and these are the things that I had to recognize, Darwin, Livonia, when I was on council, because of the extraordinary work that she had been not only in the political field, but also in the community. So these are the things that, it's just an honor to be in the presence with you. And Darwin, we did a good job by putting her in the middle, because she's going to just extend that energy to both of us. So,
And I'm going to take it.
Well, Roy, when I think back, and I'm going to probably bring back a memory to both of you, was when we did a event up there at Mike's Market.
Sure.
And and Livonia was serving as like the mistress of ceremonies, as she does so many times.
Yes, sir.
And she was doing such a gracious job, making certain that everybody was, introduced. Mm-hmm. And you came out and you made sure that she was lifted up in terms of on how she does.
Yes, sir.
And you didn't have to be there. I mean, you have so many things that you were doing as a councilman, but you came out, and I think because it was Livonia.
That's right.
That was the mistress of ceremonies.
Yes,
and you made sure that you came out from your busy day to recognize.
Yes, sir.
And the thing about it, such a gentleman and such as you, I just want to let you know, sisters, that these brothers gave me roses.
Sure did.
Gave me a plaque. You can't beat that.
Sure
I'd have
did.
handed one rose would have been fine enough for me, but these two gentlemen gave me something that I still have pictures of that. And I can see those pictures every so often.
Yes, ma'am.
And it just brings a smile to my head.
Yeah.
So I keep telling brothers and sisters, there are gentlemen out here every single day. Don't get confused. There are men out here who know how to do the right thing.
And
True.
With that, Darwin, we have to also say, I appreciate Livonia saying that, but there are women out here too, because there are women of the old school, which Livonia is, and gentlemen, when you're talking about sisters, when you're talking about wives, when you're talking about mothers, this is the pinnacle right here, Miss Livonia Brown. I mean, you know, you can't get any better than having a person like that. Not only to say that they're your friend, but then to also address you and look at you as a family member as well. So that's, you know, that's just it's
Operative
just awesome.
word,
Yes.
friend.
Yes.
Well, you know, I'm
All
going
right.
to ask you, Livonia,
Yes.
Roy, I'm going to ask you, give the one word, Livonia, that you would use to describe Roy McAllister.
Gentleman, fun, cheerful. Yeah.
Roy, what would be the one word you would give to describe
impeccable.
Livonia?
You didn't even have to stop me. Impeccable. Impeccable. That's you know, it just hits like that. And with you, Darwin, I have to give one for you also. Outstanding.
Kind.
Just
Appreciate
outstanding.
it. Appreciate
Kindly,
it.
yes, sir.
But you know, that's the thing that I think that we need to make certain. And before we started the show today, Livonia and I were talking about that, Roy, that we need to reach out
Yes, sir.
to people.
Yes, sir.
Livonia was telling me something that she does with a lot of her friends. Livonia, I'll let you tell our viewers. What is it that you do
Sure.
with your friends?
And I was telling him, Roy, that is fairly selfish on my part because maybe it seems like 30 minutes ago, but 30 some years ago, I lost my sister on Christmas Day in a drunk driving accident. And so I went into a spin. I had just gotten married in July, lost my sister in December, my only sister. And so people around me didn't know what to do. It's Christmas time. I mean, they're in a panic. Family members, we're just in a spin down.
Yes, sir.
And so for years, I had folk who really became my cheerleaders, and they were almost like angels around me to make sure that I was lifted up. They didn't say anything. They did something. They made sure that I did not sulk every year for 30 years.
Yes.
And so for selfish reasons, I learned from that, Darwin and Roy, that there are many, many people today. They don't say it. You don't even know that this is not one of the toughest days or toughest seasons
Yes.
to live through.
Yes.
They're living through a time when it was candy and candy canes and trickle little gold things on the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And the grandchildren were there. There was sounds in the house,
Yes.
smells in the kitchen,
Yes, yes.
all of that. And that comes back to you during this time. But it's silence in the house.
Yes.
Silence. So what happens? They say, okay, we're not going to go out because they will see this. The cheer. They will see the joy. And that really triggers something in them. So I'm suggesting to my friends and others, you have to almost force yourself and force your friends to get up, get dressed, put some lipstick on, shine your shoes, go get your nails fixed. You know what I mean? Put on these outstanding suits and go.
Yes.
If you don't do anything, but go to church,
Yes.
go to volunteer, or go to a party.
Yeah.
Go to church, go to volunteer, or go to a party. When you're out there, I always say to people, when you're out there, you realize this morning I get to see Roy and I get to see, Darwin. And then I go to the St. Patrick's afternoon. Then I go to the 13th district. I'm on a roll. So by the time I get back home, my sister's not there. My mother's not there. My father's not there, but I can really have those memories of the day,
Yes. Yes.
the memories of the day that I shared with friends.
Yes.
So I say to you, if you're out there, and I know you're out there, that you're having a challenge, a time, trying to get through this. You're hoping that January 1st comes quicker than ever.
Yes.
You're hoping that Christmas passed. You don't want to see. I saw a black Santa Claus at the DIA yesterday. I'm like, whoa, that just turned me on. A black Santa Claus. You have to force yourself to find the little happiness, the little nuggets out there.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it comes through either church, volunteering, or just hanging out with your friends.
Yeah.
And
so
Livonia,
true.
boy, it's really tough sometimes because usually when you see a lot of TV shows, there's usually the time when people do the. I'm trying to make sure I'm saying the word right. In memoriam for a lot of fallen soldiers.
Yes.
And you know, Livonia, we were together with one of our fallen soldiers,
Yes.
who was a lady named Elma Elaine Carey, and you know, she was your roommate in college.
Roommate in college, yes.
And a lot of times, Roy, we find a lot of things that we didn't know about people, but you find out at their homegoing
Yes,
services.
sir. Yes, sir.
And just like when Livonia was expressing yesterday about some of the things that she and Elma had went through, they started their respective chapters up at Ferris State. As the world knows, Livonia so proudly says how she represents the dynamic women of Delta Sigma Theta.
Yes, sir.
That's Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated.
Incorporated.
Yeah, I just thought I
Yes,
didn't know.
And she started that chapter, that branch up there at Ferris State. She is the, what do they call them? The people that founded the.
Well, I was actually the delegate for the line at that time. I was kind of ruling it.
Okay. And then Elma started the Alpha Kappa Alpha. Is that incorporated too, or is
I don't know.
okay?
about that.
Okay.
I think we all are incorporated.
Because I know
They
we're
are,
incorporated.
they are.
Because you know,
Everybody's
Alpha Phi Alpha's
incorporated,
incorporated,
right.
right?
Right, with Kappa Alpha Psi is incorporated.
Right. But you know, it was just interesting, and then how Livonia was sharing about Elma, and she had separation, a line of demarcation in the room where it's like pink and green on one side, and you know,
Red and white
red
on
and
the
white
other
on
end.
the other side. So
That was every day.
Right,
And we
right.
got up, but every day we got up as friends. We went back in the room as friends, but we actually decided that's how our room was going to look that way. So you walked into the room, you knew exactly what was happening.
Yeah.
You knew exactly what side of the room was on. But at the end of the day, we were part of what we call the Divine Nine.
That's right.
Brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
which really, the Divine Nine is more powerful than a locomotive. I mean, because just think about it. Some of the people that are part of that Thurgood Marshall, Martin Luther King,
Yes, yes.
You know,
yes.
Vice President Harris. I mean, you can't.
Hakeem Jeffries.
Yes, Hakeem Jeffries.
yes.
You go on and on and
Westmore.
on. Westmore.
Right, right.
you know, and even when
Yes.
you look at a lot of the, as you said, Livonia, a lot of the public servants.
Yes.
When you think of Raphael Warnock,
Yes.
you know,
yes,
it's so
yes.
many.
Yes.
You know, and Roy, I know with the Kappa legacy that you hold so high.
Congressman John Conyers.
Exactly.
Yes, yes,
Kappa.
yes.
Yes.
And I mean, there's so many from the Sigmas, the Qs, the Sigma Gamma Rhos,
Yes.
the Zetas,
Zetas.
the Iotas. I mean, it's
Right.
just so many different
Right.
people that represent their various fraternities and sororities.
Right.
Yes.
And I think that sometimes when we look at, especially even like the basketball players, the football players, the baseball players, so many in entertainment, as you mentioned about, and in politics.
Yes.
You know, and that's one of the things that people really don't realize, just how powerful these fraternities and
Right.
sororities
Hill
are.
Harper, our new neighbor, Alpha,
Yes.
Exactly.
has been
Exactly.
from Iowa.
Yes.
Yeah, powerful.
Yeah.
And the power is in the numbers, and it's the power is in how we treat one another
Yes.
when we greet one another, regardless of which one of the organizations you're in. We give respect
Yes.
to that individual who's in that group of individuals.
Yes.
And like Alma and I were alpha sweethearts. Just imagine. And this, and a real quick story. The day that I found out I was going to be selected as an alpha sweetheart, the Kappas had voted also. The Kappas had voted me in. I don't know this now. You have to understand. I don't know this. And neither one of nobody knows what's going on.
Right, right.
So the Kappas had voted me as one of their sweethearts, and so had the Alphas. But the Alphas got to me first. And the thing about it, they were trying to get me to the announcement. Well, I think I told you, and I was sharing with the people yesterday at the homegoing, I wore jeans and a T-shirt and a backpack. from the Salvation Army.
Uh-huh,
You know, you
uh-huh.
remember
Yes,
those green
right,
samurai?
That's right.
But $5. I wore one of those. That was my little uniform. And so they were trying to get me, Alma, who we had homegoing for yesterday, try to get me to dress up that night. I'm like, well, I'm not doing. I don't know why she's trying to do this. She's trying to get me dressed so I can go to this announcement where I'm going to be the sweetheart. No one, I'm hard-headed. She couldn't do it. No one could do it. So they had a guy, one of the alphas, come over, and he tried. So he said, just put some lipstick on or something, you know. Whatever. And I walked in there, and literally, people were dressed, and I had on my lipstick. And I was crowned. That's right. Very proudly. So I had to, that's how I found out about the Kappas, who said, we did not know about the Alphas, but I said, I'm going to just make my commitment to the first person or first group.
Group that came.
Oh, yeah, keep my word.
Yeah,
Keep my
yeah,
word.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But guess what I did, Roy? I married a Kappa.
But you know, one of the things that people don't really understand also is the Divine Nine is so impactful in the communities. Whether it was during our college years or whether it's now. You know, they are so impactful as far as community support,
Yes.
helping out others. And people hear, oh, the Divine Nine, oh, the AKs, oh, the A5As, oh, the Kappas, oh, the Qs, oh, Sigmas, whatever. But they don't understand the impact these organizations have been involved with as far as keeping communities together, helping people out.
Rainbow Push Coalition, Operation Breadbasket,
Yes.
Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Yes.
Q.
Yes.
You see where I'm going? Roy, you're so right. Operation
ma'am.
Breadbasket, National Rainbow Coalition, Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
Before all of that,
Yes, ma'am.
he was a Q.
That's right.
Now, one thing I wanted to ask you too, Livonia, and I'd be remiss if I didn't, because I know all of the work that you've done with Reverend Jesse Jackson over all the years. Talk about that a little bit, and then kind of give an update about how he's doing health-wise.
Well, I want to announce that he is doing better than he was on the last public report, which was like, 3 weeks ago, and people thought we were going to have a homegoing for him, frankly.
Okay.
I mean, I was there too. I was very nervous, very concerned, and went to Chicago. But he is doing much better under the circumstances. He is not well.
Yeah. Okay.
He is suffering with a disease. And so, but he is able to identify. He's bright and brilliant, you know, Divine Nine. I mean, he's a Q.
Yeah.
He still knows that he's a Q. He still knows that he's a daddy. He still knows that he's an African-American brother. He still knows all of that. And so I have the privilege and honor to do a radio show with his daughter, Santina Jackson. He actually tells us in writing some of the issues that we should discuss.
Okay.
I mean, he still is involved in our lives, and his family, his children, all 5, they have taken a sabbatical from what they normally do, and they've all come home. And they all are there. The family's there all the time. The interesting thing also in terms of the family, his son, who went off the rails for a moment, Jesse Jr., he's decided to rerun for office.
Oh, okay.
So he's he's running for Congress again.
Okay.
So Congressman Jonathan is the son that's already in office, and the son is going to do hopefully a comeback. But Yusef, the baby son, is the spokesperson for his dad. And so they're still functioning, radio show, Operation Breadbasket, community activities going on all over the country, all of Atlanta, Georgia, Detroit, and Chicago, Illinois. So the organization was challenged, transition. But Reverend is doing better today than he was doing a few days ago, and that's very pleasing to me, and I'm sure those who love him.
That's a blessing.
And one thing too, I can ask you too, that if people wanted to send any cards or letters to him, well wishes, is there a website or a page or something they can go on to do something like that, Livonia?
National Rainbow Push Coalition.org.
Okay.
nationalrainbowpush.org.
Okay.
And the good news about it, since he's been in Chicago so long, even if it goes to President Obama's house, you can send a card or two to Rainbow Push. They're on 50th Street in Chicago, Illinois. I don't have the exact address, but trust me, I'm sure the postman knows exactly
right.
how to get to Reverend Jackson.
Yes,
But it's
indeed.
rainbowpush.org. Yes.
That's good. That's good. And we definitely want to extend our well wishes to the family and hope that they have a very, very happy
Yes.
holidays
Yes,
season.
yes.
Yeah,
yes,
we're quite pleased that he still is in control.
Yes, that's good. That's good.
Well, and that's something that definitely we want to give our heartfelt prayers and condolences to Elmer Carey's family.
Yes.
Over the loss of their family member, their mother, their aunt, their loved one, and it was such a beautiful outpouring of support,
Yes.
for her. And now, when I was had just got a few texts yesterday that another soldier, she
Icon.
made her transition,
Yes.
and that's Miss Peggy Noble.
Yes.
And I know, Roy, you and I talked a little bit about
Yes.
Peggy yesterday, and Livonia. I don't know if how well you may have known Peggy, but Roy, kind of give some thoughts about, because she was in your community. Is
Yes,
that correct?
sir. Yes, sir. Peggy was.
What was her first name?
I'm sitting here trying to
'Cause I
think.
saw that.
That's
I
right.
saw that
And
yesterday.
it wasn't Peggy, because
Right.
when she talked to me, she told my first name isn't Peggy.
Right.
That's how she
Right.
talked. And I'm trying to think of it when we were talking about that, but it'll come to me.
Okay.
But she was such a pillar in the community. She started the College Park Association.
Right.
And what she did was she was one of the first, if not the first, in the area to start bringing neighborhood communities together into a overall coalition or association, which she called College Park. And I mean, she would do things just to bring together anything that happened within the community. She was very much instrumental. The DTE building had went abandoned for a bit. Peggy was there getting a hold of the people, getting a hold of the mayor's office to say, look, we need to make sure that this building is just not a structure. Something needs to be done with it. If there was an area where there was a vacant lot, she wanted to make sure that it was taken care of, because she did not want it to be a dumping site. Peggy was very instrumental as far as giving, making sure that people in the community that were disinvested received investment, in making sure that family members were taken care of, came together. She was such a pillar within the community.
Well, Roy, and we're going to put a pin on that, because we're going to come back to Peggy, and then I also want Livonia, when we come back from our break too, to mention some of the things that you're doing with some of the organizations that you're involved with especially the women's organizations that you're involved with as well. So you're watching a special edition of Truth to Power with my special guest, the Queen, Livonia Perriman,
Yes.
the King, Roy McAllister, and I'm just one of the people that happen to be a friend of
Prince.
both of them, Darwin Griffin. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Feel good about your future with tuition-free programs at Wayne County Community College District. Whether you want to be in healthcare, computer science, the culinary arts, digital media, or robotics and automation for the next generation of vehicles, WCCCD has you covered. A full range of programs to achieve your goals, fit your schedule, and give you all the support you need to be successful. All of it tuition-free. Now there's something to feel good about. Register today at wcccd.edu.
Every Monday through Friday from 12 noon to 3 p.m., it's the Tavis Smiley Show. on WHPR TV and Radio 15.2. Also seen on Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV, iPhone, and Android. That's the Tavis Smiley Show on WHPR TV and Radio. Download the WHPR TV app for iOS, Android, and Roku. The Tavis Smiley Show, distributed by R.J. Watkins Studios.
Clean up on aisle 5. Sounds like my life right now. Just one big mess.
What's going on?
It's my property taxes.
What?
I am behind and I am so worried that I'm gonna lose my house. I can pay some of it, but I can't pay it all at once.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm Eric Sabri, the Wayne County Treasurer. The last thing I want is for anyone to lose their property to tax foreclosure. We have assistance programs to help.
For more information, go to treasurer.waynecounty.com.
We're here to help.
Justice for Mario Willis. Truth. Facts. Evidence. Mattered. Log into justiceformariowillis.com. Read for yourself.
Are you ready to step into the most unforgettable hour of your life? Good, cause you are getting ready to experience the captivating, inspirational, timeless Dr. Claudine Jackson.
Join us this season for unforgettable guests, unforgettable stories, and unforgettable moments.
Dr. Claudine Jackson.
Have you ever wanted your own TV show? Have you dreamed of showcasing your talent for the world to see? Well, now you can. Have your own TV show. You can have your own 30-minute show. Not only will you be seen in the Detroit area, but you can be viewed worldwide. For more information, call 313-868-6612. Visit our studios and receive a free TV interview to promote your business, church, or organization by appointment only.
Block time is available. Get yours. Call 313-868-6612. That's 313-868-6612. Executive producer R.J. Watkins. Program director Henry Tyler. 107.5 FM. WGPR HD3. RadioWeCanSee.com.
All media platforms are engaged.
Copy.
Get ready to launch your show or product.
Periscope ready. We're 5x5 ready to launch. Copy that.
Trend worldwide across all major platforms.
Ignition. 3, 2, 1.
The world is waiting. Watkins Broadcasting. More than just TV.
313watkins.com. Streaming on Roku.
And welcome back to a special edition of Truth to Power. I'm your host, Darwin Griffin, along with my two colleagues today. We've got the Queen, Livonia Pearman, and we've got the King, Roy McAllister. But, we were talking about Miss Peggy Noble before we went on break, and we were trying to remember what her first name was. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to read something that was put out on her Facebook page. And they had said, "It is with deep regret that we announce the passing of our family matriarch, Gladys," which is her first name, mm-hmm. Peggy Noble. And she transitioned on 12/17/2025. And they said that further information will be posted regarding her celebration of life. And this is a thank you for your love, your support, and blessing. And it was sent by Rochelle, Eugene, Kimberly, Jamie, Asante, and family. Mm-hmm. So, again, we definitely extend our condolences and our prayers to the Noble family, because as Roy, you were saying more about her and the legacy that she leaves in the Northwest community.
She was so impressed because, you know, she received her master's degree later in life. In fact, she got her daughter through school first. And that's when I talk about folks like Livonia. You know, we always looked at, you have mothers like that, the children came first. And when we get ours, then we'll once they get theirs, then we'll get ours. And what she did was she got her daughter through school, and then she decided to go back to school herself. And she was just so proud of receiving her bachelor's and her master's degree, and the things that she did within the community. And, you know, again, you know, we just can't express enough. We lost so many icons, you know. I have to announce another, Dr. Arthur Divers. You know, he made his transition very instrumental for years in the community. So we're just losing so many icons. And as Livonia said, if we don't get out and start talking to folks and getting our friends, then people will pass, and that knowledge will not be passed on to our young people. We have to consider that also.
Yeah, because, you know, as both of you said, this is a time that people sometimes get into a funk.
That's right. That's true.
And
That's true.
they're looking around for walls, and there's nobody to talk back to them when they say something.
Right.
And there's nobody that will really echo how they need that person's support. And then Livonia, like you were saying too, you reach out and touch people. You call folks and encourage them to come out. And this, sadly enough, is a time that people sink into a funk.
Sure they do.
They sink into depression. And in some, a deep depression.
That's right. That's right.
And sometimes it's hard to get people out of it.
Right. And I share with people that I'm making the call for a selfish reason. So I don't get to where I don't want to do whatever I need to do. I know the signals. Sometimes we actually believe that we are more comfortable with ourselves. That's a plus after January the 1st. During this time, believe it or not, I think volunteering is really key, or being a public servant, Roy, and participating and sharing things with other people. So you say, well, I don't have a lot of friends, or I don't have a lot of money, or I don't have this, or I can't get dressed up and go to the DIA. But you can go to a church to volunteer.
Yes.
Wear your jeans and a T-shirt.
Or you can even go to a hospital.
Or a hospital. They would be glad to see you there to share your thoughts and ideas. And I want to say before we forget, we must tell our own stories. WHPR, what you're doing, Darwin, and others, this is a mechanism to document African American, people of color stories. Must tell our stories. If we don't tell our stories, somebody's going to edit it or edit us out of history.
And you know, and that's so interesting too, and I'll let you make your comment in a minute, but it's like we had an event here at the station the other day, and you know, we brought back late night entertainment with R.J. Watkins. We decorated the entire station in festive, decorations. Had to give a shout out to Michelle Cunningham and to our own station manager and general manager, Ms. Maxine Willis, who put up a lot of the decorations, here and made it so festive. And I definitely want to go and let Ms. Willis know because she's under the weather. So we definitely want to extend a get well wishes to our general manager here, Ms. Maxine Willis, to get well, with a quickness. And she really regrets that she couldn't be here, because when I told her that Livonia was coming to be on the show with us today, Roy, she was like, oh, wow. And she was like, and I told her that we'll see if we can try and hold the fort down, in Livonia's presence, But she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I really wanted to be there and greet Livonia and just let her know how much she's appreciated with all of the time that she spent in radio and in TV. So Miss Willis definitely sends her, she was saying, I will definitely be watching. So I know that it's going to be a good show because it's got Lavonia Perriman on it. So it can't be anything but good. Yeah. So it's just a matter of how high into the stratosphere the show can go with Lavonia on it.
Yeah. I'm just honored. I think that the mechanisms such as a WHPR, radio and television, and the podcast and all that is so necessary. I mean, we back in the day when RJ had started, you already know that, Roy, that there were so many stations and they were really outlets. I mean, we were popping here in Detroit and around the country, and there's so few places to go. To document, right? There's so many few places now to go, even to do a dance, just a dance.
And see, that was the thing,
and
because
have fun.
It's like when we did this the other night.
Yes,
we had a lot of people from back in the day, Channel 62, WGPR, programs that we grew up with, programs that when we came out of school, I was talking to somebody and they would, I was talking to Tim, our engineer here, and like Tim was saying, there's things that you can do where you can see old shows, like the New Dance Show that R.J. Watkins hosted, Late Night Entertainment with R.J. Watkins, old episodes of The Scene,
but how? That's the key.
Exactly.
The community needs to know how to access those shows. So, you going to tell us?
Well, that's the thing, because that's one of the things that we're in the process of trying to do here at WHPR. And that's what we put out the challenge to other networks, other streaming sources, to do the same thing. Because, as you said, Lavonia, it's our story. And if we don't tell it, somebody else will.
Sure will.
And it gets watered down, it gets filtered, and it changes to the point to where we don't even recognize that. And people don't know the history of the Don Corneliuses and Soul Train. Don't know the history of some of the things that the Reverend Jesse Jackson did, ran for president. They don't know these things. And then that's the thing that we have to do more of, to let people know how, what, why, because people will make assumptions. Just like we go to church every Sunday, because we don't want people to make assumptions about who Jesus Christ. And we want people to know, especially this time of the year, when people need to know. Christmas is not just about Christmas trees, decorations,
gift giving,
stockings held, hung over the fireplace. It's about the birth of Christ.
That's right.
And that's what people, and then even depending on what you celebrate, be it Hanukkah, be it Kwanzaa, be it Christmas. I mean, there's so many ways that people celebrate, this time of the year. But the key thing is that it's a time that families should be united. As you both said, you get together. There needs to be a time that you reflect back on all the things that you did for the year and all the people that helped you to do the things that you did. Lavonia, you're involved with so many organizations, especially with trying to uplift women in some of the organizations that you're involved with. Roy, I know probably some of the things that you do, not just with the Kappas, but also in the community that you serve in. So there's so much that we need to do, because I try and go, and Lavonia, when we were doing our radio show together, that I would go and pass out food.
Many times. Many people were saved, fed, and smiles on people's faces because of your effort. And very quiet now. You have to understand, he would show up and he would be there. I remember one time, I think I said, is Santa Claus coming? Right, but his name is Darwin Griffin. Really?
Darwin, one thing I want to go back to is something that Lavonia stated about getting out. And she stated that 30 years ago she lost her sister. But a lot of times when you get out, that internal, what you're feeling, you go get out, and then you see somebody that's also going through that, and then that lets you know I'm not the only one.
Exactly.
And then also it also brings into the fact for them to say, look, I went through what you're going through, so they know that you're not the only one. So that's such an important factor that you stated, Livonia, when you get out there.
Yes.
And it's not just about what's going on with you,
right,
but what's going on with others. And say, and you know, just like getting involved with the mental health, which I'm really big in on. A lot of times people think that, oh, I'm going through this crisis, I'm going through, and then when you bring everybody together, you see, oh, I'm not doing this all alone by myself. So now you open up because you know that there's others that are experiencing the same either difficulties or traumas crisis that you're going through or have went through. So that's very important, you know, very important when we look at that. And then when we talk about the folks that have been out there, that have been doing things, to make sure that others are taken care of, it's about how do we reach back and then give that to others. You know, one of the things that I was talking after I left here from that phenomenal the other day, you know, got the chance to see Nat Morris and everything. I went home and told my wife about it, and you know, she was saying, you know, the bad part about it is that we have so many young people now that feel that it is more about being violent than having a good time. That's something we have to get away from also. You know, it's about, you know, I talk about, you know, we all have had folks that we might have had some confrontation with either in high school or something like that, and we live through it and we talk about it and we laugh about it now. But now, you know, it's like when they have these conflicts, first of all, they're not communicating like we used to do. And so when they do have the confrontation, they really don't know how to really express or deal with it. So what they're doing is now it's like, I have to destroy this person. And it's not about that. So what you've done is you destroy two lives. That person's life and your life, as well as family members' life. These are the things that we have to, as you stated, Livonia, when we get out here and we start talking to people, because a lot of our young people, only thing they want is somebody to talk to.
That's right.
And they want some structure. And if they don't have that, they might get the wrong person to talk to them or the wrong type of structure that's around them. So these are the things that is so important what you stated. When we get out and we're talking to people and we're doing things, and when they say, well, you know, I seen Livonia, she was out there, what's she out there doing? She out there giving out turkeys, and Darwin, he's giving out turkeys.
Right, I'm behind Darwin.
Why are they doing that? Well, if they can do it, I can do it too.
Right.
You know, so it is so important that we start bringing this collective and this friendship and this family respect back to each other, you know, and to our communities.
And you know, it's so interesting, Roy, that it's like when they see somebody like Livonia at her young, tender age, and they see her out there, and those people that might know how young Livonia is, and they're like, if she can get out there and do it at her young age, I know I should be able to get out there and do that.
They should get
at
out there.
my young age, you know.
Yes.
And that's the thing that people don't really realize, because regardless of where you go, whatever you do, people are always looking at you.
Yes, sir.
And they're always watching you.
Sir.
And they're always gauging themselves with you.
Yes, sir.
Like they see Livonia out there slipping and sliding, trying to come into the station this morning. And I appreciate you both for coming into the station this morning. And just the people that were encouraged that you were at the DIA yesterday and you went and said, guess what? I'm going to be doing Darwin's show tomorrow morning. And now that's the encouragement to them. They could be doing, and it also is nice too, because it gives a plug for me for the show today, you know, and then a plug for the station, you know, and then a plug for R.J. Watkins, who's the president of the station. So I mean, it goes on and on and on, you know, with so many. But it's great, Livonia, like you said, it's helping to promote black media, and black media is trying to educate and to illustrate what we need to do to keep lifted up. And to keep encouraging people like you, because you've been in this business for how many years, Livonia?
I think I started actually started when Donnie was 14. I think I was 16. That's when I started in radio. I actually was telling someone yesterday, my yearbook, my high school yearbook, if you open up where they say, what do you want to do? I actually said I wanted to be in broadcasting. I didn't use that word. I said I want to be on the air doing my own show, and I want to make a movie. Now, I mean, I have not made a movie, but I've been in a few movies. My point is that I didn't even know what a journalist was when I was 16 years old. But I actually had the opportunity. I was just telling Hiram Jackson, who is Real Time, President and CEO, that, by the way, the Michigan Chronicle is going to be celebrating their 99th year. Whoa. Wow. January 2026. But I was sharing with him that I actually got my start as a little on a pink Princess phone, talking on the phone, covering high school news for the Michigan Chronicle. Longworth Quinn, not junior, senior. I was like 14, and my mother wouldn't let me go any further than the block. So I had to use my little phone. And I had to get off the phone when somebody beeped in, because we didn't have cell phone. Right. Beeping was like the beeping somebody else is trying to call.
Right.
And so my point is that I have been in this business, and I was either appointed, anointed, or I knew that this was so important for me to be a part of it. And I never gave it up. I was actually... John Conyers is the actual guy who got me into anchoring national news. Congressman John Conyers invited me to Washington, D.C. to speak to Congress about blacks in the media. I never left for 27 years. So you just never know. But the point is that I've seen a lot going on. I mean, right now, today, at this very moment, Donnie Simpson from Detroit, Love Bug, is on in Washington, D.C. Right. We're all over 30. All over 30.
That's right. That's right.
Kathy Hughes. I mean, just doing that. So the point is, I'm going back to what you're saying, Roy, we not only have to continue to do this, but we have to share the experience and bring up a whole nother generation.
Yes,
so they can continue to do this, to speak truth to power, as your show says.
Well, and and that's so, that's why I love you, Livonia, because you're so eloquent in how you go and you bring out things like that. And that's one of the things, too, that I know that we here at WHPR, we know that there's a lot more that we can do to educate the public, educate the people. Yes. You always said real news with real people. And that's the one thing that we want to try and do here at the station, is to elevate people's persona, to elevate people's knowledge, to be able to go, and as Jesse Jackson always says, knowledge is something that should be shared.
That's right.
And not hoarded. Right. Don't like some people, they're hoarders. They keep things in and not share it. And there's so many people that can learn from the Jesse Jacksons, from what Martin Luther King, from the Medgar Evers,
from the Livonia
Perrys. Right.
That's right.
And that's the thing. But we want to give people their flowers and their recognition while they can still appreciate, because that's why it was so great when myself and Maxine Willis went over to the street unveiling for former mayor, for Commissioner Martha Scott, and to see all of her family just there, to be able to celebrate with her, seeing a street named after her in Highland Park. And that's the thing that people don't really realize. All of the things that we learn about people, like about Elma Carey, like what we learned in terms of, say, about Peggy Noble, her first name, Gladys. Like what we learned about Ida Mae Foster, who was the mother of Reverend Dr. Wendell Anthony. Like what we learned about Fred Durhal Jr.
The third.
Well, the third.
Right.
And his father. With his father, the junior. Right. And things that we don't know. Ozzie Pye. I'm like Ozzie Pye the Fourth. And knowing about the legacy that a lot of people leave. And then the same thing, too, Livonia, as you know, how avid you were with making certain that we had our first female African American mayor.
Oh, I couldn't wait to say something about that.
I could see it.
I was about to leap out of my chair.
I can see it.
You know that we're talking about leaping forward, not hoarding.
Well, see, I know we got 10 minutes left before we have to take this next break.
Yes,
so I knew that, like, okay,
absolutely.
we really couldn't do that justice in 10 minutes, but we could start.
We
to
can
at least
start.
ways doing that.
Right, because you mentioned Martha Scott. She was acknowledged yesterday by the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation.
Okay.
And that's the Starworths. That's a whole family
That's
of
right.
generation
Yes.
of history.
Yes.
Public service, just the Starworth name speaks volumes in terms of public service.
Yes, ma'am.
And Martha Scott was acknowledged. And it was said, remember, she was a mayor of Highland Park.
Correct.
And as soon as I heard it, I clicked. I said, you know what? Just imagine. Here in our midst, not back in the day, right here and now, we have a sister, a woman, a lady of Sheffield, a family that has been actually a part of this community for years.
Yes, right.
That she's not
Decades.
even 50. There will be and worked so hard for 12 years as the president of the city council, will be our mayor. I mean, you can't even imagine how I felt that day. I was so full. You would have thought that women around the world gave birth to a child. Here she was, Mary Sheffield. And I know, I'm saying it here, and it's not going to be easy for her, but we got her back because we know her heart is in the right place.
Well, you know, and it's so interesting, too, because something, Roy, that you said earlier about the Divine Nine, the Kappas versus the Alphas versus the Sigmas or the Qs or so on, and the same thing maybe like with the AKs or the Deltas or the Semi-Everos or the Zetas. But the bottom line is this. We're still under the skin.
That's right.
We still bleed the same color
Yes,
blood.
sir. Yes, sir.
And it's clear. That's what a lot of people don't realize. It is clear. Until it hits oxygen, that's when it turns red.
That's
but
right.
it's still clear. And we all still represent the same. And we need to make certain, regardless of what happens, whatever was said prior to the election, we got to come together.
That's right.
Because it's still something that we all need to do. So anybody that was supporting whoever they supported, we all need to support the city of Detroit. That's what is
overall.
first,
Yes, sir.
more than anything else.
sir.
We need to lift up this young lady. We need to make certain that whatever we do, we keep the city first.
That's right. Keep it
And we
vibrant.
keep her in our prayers, as you said, because it's not going to be easy. She needs the Livonia Pyramid's to learn from, to grow from.
Yes, sir.
She needs the Roy McAllisters, the same thing. Because the bottom line is this. She has got a lot of work to do. She's got a lot of people whose shoulders that she is going to stand on, but she's got a lot of shoulders that will stand on hers.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of women that look at her, Livonia, and they're saying, I really respect and I see that it's a not glass ceiling that I can't ascend to and then break through. Because there was a lot of people that thought that Kamala Harris could not become the first president of the United States and represent African American females. Now here she's the first, and there was other people that tried to ascend to be the mayor before her. We know in terms of say about, but she did it, and she did it with grace, and she did it with style, and she's going to do it with professionalism, as Mary Sheffield embodies.
Oh, no question about it.
And you also have to look at the fact is, I mean, she's a first on a lot of avenues. She's a first black female. She's the first person from council to become mayor. And when you look at the history, at the number of people that have attempted, that was on city council, that have attempted to become mayor, she is the first.
She is. We got to take a break, so we'll be right back with Livonia Pyramid, Roy McAllister. I'm Darwin Griffin. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri. If you're behind on your property taxes, we have programs to help. You don't have to lose your house, and you don't have to pay all at once. This summer, our mobile unit will be visiting Wayne County communities to help make it easier to start a payment plan and keep your property. Go online or call to find the plan that's right for you and where you can get help from our mobile unit. The last thing I want is for anyone to lose their property to foreclosure. Make your payments every month and keep your property.
Arrested, you have the right to remain silent. Everything you say can and will be held against you. Don't talk to the police. Talk to me first, Attorney Warren E. McAlpine from the Action Attorney Center. I know the law and I know your rights. Whether felony, misdemeanor, drug, OWI, domestic violence, or traffic violation, I can help you. Call today, Warren E. McAlpine, 1-888-292-6908.
Hey, I'm the new girl at WHPR, Kimberly Clemens, the host of Chats and Chuckles. Tune in on Tuesdays, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Chats and Chuckles. I am here to bring life to the chatter that matters.
Hey, I know you've seen them. Those sleek vapes that everyone says is better than smoking. Here's the truth. They're not. Did you know that in Michigan, 14% of high school students use e-cigarettes? That's a lot of people risking their life for a quick buzz.
Nicotine doesn't just harm your body, it affects your mind too. It can make depression and anxiety worse, and even change how your brain handles stress. You deserve better than to let a tiny device control your mood and your future.
You know, I thought vaping was no big deal until it started affecting my mood and focus.
Yeah, and did you know that kids who vape are more likely to smoke cigarettes?
But there's good news. You don't have to do this alone. Whether it's through friends, family, or a support group, there's always a way out.
Your health, your future, you're worth so much more than what vaping has to offer.
Detroit's got your back. Visit CUYFDcoalition.org for tools and support to help.
Watch WHPR and TV 33 when you want, where you want, how you want. WHPR is now in your pocket. Download our free app by going to the App Store or Google Play and enter WHPR TV in the search engine. And there we are. You can download WHPR TV or radio. You heard about it. Now come be a part of it. Roku Detroit Worldwide. Approximately 8 million viewers. Watkins Broadcasting is going worldwide. Now you can watch Detroit's own WHPR on your TV from anywhere in the world. No matter where you are, you can stay in the know with WHPR TV and Roku. You can get your easy-to-install Roku box from wherever you shop for your entertainment gear. Once your Roku box is connected to your TV and internet, go to the channel store on the home menu of the Roku box. Enter WHPR TV in the search engine and add it to your channels. That's it. That's all you need to get the best in entertainment, news, and talk, no matter where you are. Roku brings all of your favorites to your TV. Netflix, Hulu Plus, Crackle, HBO Go, and now WHPR TV, Detroit Live.
313watkins.com. Streaming on Roku.
WGPR Detroit HD3.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
And welcome back. You are watching a very special edition of Truth to Power. I'm your host, Darwin Griffin, along with my colleagues today, Miss, I'm probably saying it over and over again. I probably couldn't say it enough. Queen, Livonia Pearman, and King, Roy McAllister. But,
thank you.
You know, and we know how important it is to get our messaging across, especially here at Watkins Broadcasting, WH3R. And as we've said earlier, the same thing when it comes down to the elected officials, to the politicians, the public servants. You know, we want them to also realize, too, we are here for you as well. So if you're trying to promote yourself in terms of, say, in your political ambition or aspirations, we are here to assist you with that. So we ask you, instead of just always going to the big stations, come to the little stations to also go and promote what you're doing at the same time. We may not be able to reach the masses that the other stations can do, but we're going to tell your story, and we're going to tell your story correctly so that there's not going to be any question about what you, where you, who you, any of that.
You know, Darwin, I want to elaborate on that. When you say we may not reach those big ones, but it's us, the community, that needs to hear that information, because as stated earlier, a lot of times if we do not tell our story is told by others, but it's watered down, or it's turned to the way they want that story to be. You know, when you look at the administration now, our federal administration, our story has been attacked for years as not telling the truth or really coming out with it. Now it's being attacked at that higher level, overall, even the big media now, because they're using it, or that person is using it as fake news. But they're saying it's fake news because it's truthful news. And that's why, you know, and Darwin, you and I have talked about it, bringing the stations and everybody together to get that black story out there to our communities so that they will understand, especially with our young people, because what do? They get all that information off of this thing. And this thing that doesn't all the time tell the real truth.
Yeah, because you're right, Roy, not to cut you off, because it's like how they put out people making transitions.
Yes, sir.
And that wasn't true.
Yes, sir.
You know, one of the football legends.
Lem Barney.
Lem Barney.
That's right.
And Lem Barney, I'm not dead. I'm still alive.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing that we sometimes, but they perpetrate trying to put things out there that are fake news, that are falsehoods about folks. That you look up and the person who they're saying passed away is still alive. And that's the thing that we have to continue to make certain, as you said, that we're giving the real news about the Lem Barneys or even other folks. And that's why I wanted Livonia to mention about Jesse Jackson's well-being. Because there may be people that may be saying who knows what.
That's right.
But Jesse Jackson is alive and, you know,
and well. As well as can be expected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, but we want to let people know to keep him lifted up in your prayers.
Yeah.
And that other avenue is AI.
Yeah.
AI is coming out now, and a lot of that stuff, they can make each one of us, create each one of us, and put out the falsifications.
Likeness and image and voice.
That's right. And people will pick that up and say, oh, Livonia said that? I didn't think, Darwin said that? Roy, why would Roy say something like that? You know? And so that's, again, where we, as a black radio communication to our communities, are so important to put out the real news that is out there for the real people to listen to and hear and understand, so that they can continue on with the real story, not the fake story or not the artificial intelligence story.
Yeah, because they could take, because Livonia so eloquently did when they were having the celebrations for the elected, for the people that were running for mayor.
Yes, sir.
And they had people there with Kinloch's camp. They had people there with Sheffield's camp. They picked Livonia to speak on behalf of the Sheffield camp. Now, they could take what Livonia said, take her image and say she said a lot of things that we know she would never say.
Exactly.
But they could take that image and put a voice in there that sounds like Livonia, but the words are not Livonia's. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure,
and
absolutely.
that's the
They're
thing
doing
that
it
we got
now.
to be careful of.
They're doing it now.
Because they'll say that Livonia said this when Livonia didn't say that about anybody else that was running.
That's right.
People will say something about Sheffield that they didn't say. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that people will do that will try, and then people don't do their research.
Exactly.
They don't fact check.
Yes.
And that's where the problem is at. They don't fact check, and they need to start doing more of that so that they don't get the news twisted or distorted. And then by the time that it gets to 20 people, you know that old thing we did in school.
Yeah.
You tell you, Roy, by the time it gets to everybody else, the 20th person, it's been changed up so much, much. And I want to kid you, Roy, with one thing, too, before we go on. Here, Livonia, the first time Roy did my show, Roy came dressed, he was sharp,
Always.
able to cut paper with,
That's right, babe.
Roy came and did the show, and it was so funny because one of the people that was watching the show, they were like, well, ask him, is he married? And they wanted to know, is he married? But you mentioned your wife earlier on the show today.
Yes.
So for those tens of thousands of people that may be wondering, are you married? You mentioned that earlier today when you said my wife, when you were telling one of your stories. So that's good. So let
He's still
everybody
sharp,
know.
and he's married.
And he's married.
Right.
That's the
And
important part.
My wife used to dance on the scene.
Isn't that something? See?
She used to dance.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that probably brought back a lot of memories to a lot of folks then when you say it like that part. But I just had to throw that in, Roy.
Yeah, thank
before
you,
we,
thank you. Yes,
and should it be said too, Livonia, I'll let you state your status. So all of the millions of men that might be watching this show today as well.
My phone number is my zip code and my email is single.
And she's going to be at the party for the 13th. So just in case if you want to try and see if you might get a chance to get her eyes to set on you, she may be at that party.
My zip code is, my phone number is, if you see me, you can ask.
Okay.
All right.
And that's the key thing, is that's why I said, but see now, we at Black Media, that's what we want to do. Make sure that people don't mistakenly think anything different. Don't hear Livonia saying anything different, or hear you saying anything different, or me saying anything different.
Now, you know, Livonia, he talking about me and you.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not giving out phone numbers and zip codes and all that like Livonia.
I am.
But, I am single as well. So that's the key thing is that, but as Livonia, we're happy. That's the important part. And we're happy and we're married to our careers.
I'm not married to my career. Let me say that. I am not married to my career.
Well, see, you have so many different things that you
So versatile.
do.
Yeah.
She's so versatile.
Right.
Well, see,
that
what
it's
happens,
like-
people get confused. See, well, this is what happens.
Oh, I love
Sometimes
this.
you could be single and not available.
Yes, sir. That's right. That's
Maybe
right.
that's what you're saying. You say you're single and you're not giving out anything.
Well, my thing is like this.
But I'm not married to my career. And people think that. I'm telling you, as a female, I've experienced that. Guys will tell me later on, well, I would have talked to you, but I thought you were connected so tightly with your career. No.
But you
This
know,
is what I do
misinterpretation.
for, this is what I do for a living.
But you know, Roy, Livonia, it's interesting because when people, just like with you, Roy, you're being married.
Yes.
But the first thing that somebody asks you, what's the next comment that they make? Happily.
Are you happy?
Are you happily married?
Yes.
You can be married.
Yes.
You can have a ring.
Yes.
You may not have a ring.
Yes.
You can be in a relationship.
Yes.
You can be in love.
Yes.
But you could say that I love my mate. But are you in love with your mate.
Totally
And there's a
different.
totally
There's
different,
a difference.
you know,
Yes,
with
it
that
is.
part.
Right.
Yes,
How long
it
you
is.
been married?
34 years.
Oh, right now, see, that's what I'm
Happily
talking about.
married. Happily
Let's
married.
say
We don't-
34 years.
Yeah.
This is an expert sitting next to us.
Oh, yeah.
And his
I ain't
wife
say
would
about-
say that she is not married to her career. Just so you know. Right.
Plus the fact too is, you know, she will say,
She's
"I
married
have
to
put,
Roy. That's
I
her
put,
career,
I put up
being-
for him for 34 years. I put up.
That's her career.
That's
That's
what
her
you
career.
saying? Right.
Her
right.
career is making
Yeah.
sure that
Right.
she does what
Yeah.
Roy
Oh no!
asking, but then
No, no,
Roy
no, no.
does what she asks.
No, I deal with the honeydew list.
Okay.
There is not Roy said.
Yeah.
It is my baby said.
That's right.
My wife said.
That's right.
And we
She
are
puts
doing,
all those-
and we are doing. This is how it goes now.
So
I
he
was
puts all
married
them
for a
terms of
while.
endearment in there.
Oh, no. It's not like what people think it is.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as 50-50 in a marriage.
Right.
Am I right?
Because sometimes I'll say, and people say, oh, and who is it? Oh, this is my girlfriend. Because she is.
You see?
She's my
You see?
girlfriend also.
There's no 50-50.
Yeah, she's my girlfriend.
Well, you know, and that's the good thing that we can adapt to all different
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
places and spaces
Yes,
that
that's
we're
true.
in.
Yes, sir.
With people
Yes,
that we
sir.
come in contact with. And at the same time, it's back to what we were saying, Roy, Livonia, how we encourage other people.
Yes.
There's people that may be married that might not be as happily as, say, you may be, but they need to know what your secret is.
Yes.
What you do, Roy, so that they can emulate
That's right.
what you do. That's what matters. Because
As well
as I
as-
said, and people don't, and you don't have to give advice. You've always said before, if you don't live it, if you don't act on it, a lot of times it doesn't happen. You can say that you do this and do that, but they want to see you actually doing it.
Yes,
And
yes.
that's what's most important.
That's right.
Lead by example.
Leading
right.
by example.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
And then you never know, because it's just like you never know who's watching you.
That's right.
So you got to always keep your game stepped up, because just like watching this show today, they may be looking at, they may say, okay, well, Livonia said this, but then Livonia, when they see Livonia out there in the public eye, Livonia is always classy,
Yes.
always professional,
Yes.
and is always lifting up others to their elevation,
Yeah, right.
not to hers,
Right.
but to theirs, because that's where sometimes people don't do as well, because they're trying to be like Livonia.
Yes.
But
Yes.
Livonia is telling them, be like you.
Yeah, be
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Be you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't try and do everything
Be
that
all
Livonia
that you
did.
can
Be
be.
all of you. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing, just like when we look at all these other people that are trying to be like Mike, you know, back when in the day when he's had them commercials out, be like Mike. But then like Charles Barkley said, hey, you be you. Don't be trying to be like me.
Right.
Don't be trying to be like somebody else. Be you.
Yeah.
Because you can be the best you that nobody else can be.
Plus, trying to be like Darwin, you don't know what Darwin went through. Trying
go.
to be like Livonia, you don't know what Livonia went through. So that's why you have to be you. Because if you really look back and see some of the things, just like Livonia said, my sister passed away 30 years ago.
Yep.
Look at the 30 years that she do you go through that?
Yeah.
You
Have
know?
you been there?
Have you been there?
Yeah.
And so those are the things we also have to look at by being you.
Yeah.
You know, trying to be like somebody else. Yeah, okay, yeah, you could look at that, but there has been some ups and downs with
No
me in
question
my marriage. You know,
Sure.
do you want to go through that, or will you go through that?
Will you go through
That's
it?
the big thing.
That's right.
Will you go through that? And so, you know, Darryl, you say, look, I'm happy, I'm single, I'm happy, but people say, well, I wanna do. Well, what is it that Darwin has also went through?
That's right. To get to that point.
So you
That's a
got to
plus.
understand what is best for you.
Yeah.
Because they may not say, after they look into what Darwin's past, his background is to where he's at, he's happy, but I don't want to go through that to be happy. We all are different individuals.
And all of us are sitting here. If all three have been married before, am I correct? You're still married. I'm divorced. How about
I'm
you?
divorced.
Right. And so they're 12 years of marriage.
Right.
And I learned some things along the way.
Yes.
You have the same here. Learn along the way. He went through it and came through it.
Mm-hmm.
You see where I'm going? I went through it, and I came through my journey. And yours was different. It's just different journeys.
Right.
So you ended up here where you are emotionally, and I ended up, and here we are. But all of it has been different for different people. You could talk about it like, oh, I didn't know that happened. I didn't know that happened.
Yes.
I didn't know that was happening with him or
Right.
you or me. But and people need to know you define happiness based on your journey.
Yeah, you know. Yes.
It's nobody else's
That's
journey. My
that's me.
happiness and yours is totally different. You're happy single. No.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah. The values
see
are
where I'm
different.
going?
The
Right.
values are
Yeah.
different, you know? So we have to look at that. And that's why I say it's so important. Because if somebody goes to the 13th tonight, runs into Darwin, Livonia, they'll probably look, hearing this show, they'll probably look and say, wow, they're fantastic because of what they went through. You know? And I emanate that. I appreciate that.
Or they might ask you, I'm in the midst of a drama in my relationship. They might not say in those words. They might say, I'm glad you, tell me, what did you do?
Right.
And they might joke about it.
And that has happened.
Right, you see?
It has happened.
It has happened. How did you do that?
And the first question I asked them is, what did you do? What did you do?
Yes.
What did you do?
Yes.
I'm not going to talk about the other person.
No.
What did you do? Or what have you done? You know, how are you listening? Are you communicating? Are you making that sacrifice? Are you saying, okay, I'll let this one go? You know, or you saying, no, I ain't taking it. You know, it's
absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned it. Just 2 days ago, a friend of mine is out of a relationship.
Yes,
Now, you guys have to remember, I already knew he was out of the relationship in September. I saw it. I just did. So he was finally telling me this relationship that he was in, it was over. I said, well, I think it was over in September. And he was angry with me because I said, but I watched you. I watched it unfold. I watched it. I said it was over. And I said, you gave me clues along the way. It was like dropping little beads along the way, things that you would say. You wouldn't be saying that about somebody you care about. So we really sometimes tell on ourselves.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do.
Sometimes we tell on ourselves.
Yes, we do.
Well, sometimes it's the things that's not said are things that said.
Yes. Yes.
And that's where a lot of people don't realize how your lines of communication are with people, especially people that know you. And just like you said, you knew this guy. You knew what he just didn't want to say it.
Right.
But you knew it.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's the other thing, too, when it comes to communication, how to say it in a tactful sort of way.
Yes.
To get your point across. And sometimes, but it's so funny, it's like with young people, what do they say? Out of the mouths of babes comes the truth. And a lot of times it takes the kids to come back and tell, well, mommy and daddy, they had an argument last night. Mommy and daddy don't want everybody to know their business. But the kids will tell it.
That's
you know,
right.
especially this time of the year. Everybody think everybody's so festive, Christmas and all that. They see dad gave mom a nice bit of jewelry or a fur coat or something like that. They don't know the story that might have led up to why he got that fur coat.
They don't know that the wife probably bought the coat.
It could be that too. Right. She may have bought it. He might have got in the doghouse instead of knowing to get out the doghouse and get back in the house. He had to do something to come correct. So there's a lot of things that could have happened that led up to that story. Like you both are saying, it's the backstory.
That's right.
That leads up to what's going on.
Yes, sir.
And that's the key thing, that just like when you see the elected officials or you see the actors or the politicians, the athletes, you don't know the backstory.
Right.
Especially with them.
But their backstory is the work that they have put in, the time that they put in. We were talking about Mary Sheffield. Let's go back to that. She put in the work. Remember, this is 12 years on the city council.
And Roy served with her on the city council.
On the city
In
council.
fact, I endorsed her to be the pro tem.
You see?
Yeah.
She put in all that work. But when we were on the other station, 910, back then she was doing the work outside of city council. I always say to folks, just like what you have always done, I always say to people, when you're deciding to vote for someone, you need to find out what did they do before the title.
That's right.
What did they do before they asked you for your vote? What did they do before they became city council president? What did they do before they became state rep? You have to find out what kind of work went into that. We're talking about a family, the Sheffield family. Let's just be very honest and very clear about it. We're talking about generations of work.
Yes, right.
We're not talking about generations of conversation here. Anybody who is sitting out there listening and know anything about the Sheffield family, especially the dad, Horace. Horace is going to talk, but he's going to carry out the work. Very clear, very focused. It might not be in the fashion that you think it should be. Right. It might not be phrased the way you think it should be. But you can't miss a Saturday when they're not feeding somebody, providing them health care, providing them education, or whether, and we're not talking about putting up banners about this is my program. She comes from that kind of girt, that kind of reverence in terms of the community. So she shows up as a young, beautiful, talented, hardworking sister to say, I know what the work looks like. She understands that. What has to happen, we as the people who voted for her can't walk away from that. It's not going to be just, well, Mary didn't do. Right. No, what didn't we do? What didn't we do to help them make sure? Do we protect? I believe that Coleman Young was protected by his boys. I'm going to just say his boys. That was Buddy Battle. You know, all those guys.
Primus. Yeah, yes, that's right.
You could not today.
That's right.
If I came up with the history that Coleman Young's, if he was sitting at a table, these guys were sitting with him. Am I right?
That's right.
He wasn't sitting there by himself. He did not think of himself as a solo. His guys were there. I grew up knowing. I was like this. I didn't even know these guys, but they were always around.
That's right.
They were there. They were there. So we have to do the same with our mayor.
And I think that's why Brian White is going to be phenomenal as her deputy mayor. Because he's been there with her, and he's seen, and I'm pretty sure he's advised her.
Yes,
absolutely. So that's going to be phenomenal with that. And she's, of course, like you said, it's going to be difficult because the first wrong thing that she does is it's a learning experience still. Because city council is different from being the mayor, and it's a learning experience. So when she does something wrong, she's going to be compared to this current mayor. He had problems when he was first in. So we have to remember that and understand that. Those mistakes are going to be made. But it's like John Kennedy said, unless you correct the error, it continues to be an error. Right. So we have to make sure that those errors are corrected in a positive manner. And we be behind her and make sure, because again, it goes back to what you said, Darren, it's not about the mayor. It is about the city of Detroit. And I always say Detroit has been good to everybody. But not everybody's been good to Detroit. That's always fame I always say.
So true. We got to take a break.
Okay.
We'll be right back with Livonia Perriman, Roy McAllister. Stay tuned.
That God forgives.
Wait a minute, you don't just walk up in my house, you gotta leave.
Hey, look, I just want to apologize how things went down tonight. We've been married for 2 years now, and lately, we ain't been the same.
People change, Jelly, and I don't want to do none of them things no more.
I didn't sign up for this come to Jesus meeting when we got married, Lorraine. I got a card game tonight with the fellas, and after that, I'm leaving. I'll be out of town for a couple days for work.
So you want me to take him for everything?
I want you to take everything that ain't nailed to the ground.
I am so sick of you, Lorraine.
In Jesus' name, oh God, we lift you up, oh God. Can I have you running up in here, Jelly?
Let me catch you in the street.
Hold on. You better back up off my wife before I make you think I'm not a preacher, boy.
So you just gonna put me out of what I built?
I love you. Don't you see that?
You belong in me. You brought him here!
love you. You belong to me.
This is a Mike Matthews production, promoted by R.J. Watkins Studio. Now on Tubi.
Tune in to the I Love the Hustle show, Saturday afternoons at 12 p.m., followed by Mr. Smooth's Ballroom and Steppers Express Dance Show on WHPR 15.2 Detroit, Apple TV, Roku, and many streaming platforms. See you Saturday.
Florine Jackson thought she had it all until she was faced with the challenges of raising an autistic child. Inspired by autism is her brutally honest journey filled with heartbreak and triumph. Get your copy and find the support you deserve today by visiting www.claudinejackson.tv.
Feel good about your future with tuition-free programs at Wayne County Community College District. Whether you want to be in healthcare, computer science, the culinary arts, digital media, or robotics and automation for the next generation of vehicles, WCCCD has you covered. A full range of programs to achieve your goals, fit your schedule, and give you all the support you need to be successful. All of it tuition-free. Now there's something to feel good about. Register today at wcccd.edu.
All media platforms are engaged. Copy.
Get ready to launch your show or product.
Periscope ready. We're 5x5 ready to launch. Copy that.
Trend worldwide across all major platforms.
Ignition. 3, 2, 1.
The world is waiting. Watkins Broadcasting. More than just TV.
Justice for Mario Willis. Truth. Facts. Evidence. Mattered. Log into justiceformariowillis.com. Read for yourself.
.313watkins.com. Streaming on Roku.
We are back, and you are watching a special edition of Truth to Power. I'm your host, Darwin Griffin, along with my two favorite people, Livonia Pearman, Roy McAllister. And, you know, it was so interesting how when we were taking this commercial break, how we made mention about, boy, this time is going by real fast.
It has. Yeah. It's been a pleasure.
And,
truly a joy.
It has been.
Talk about kicking off a day.
But it has been our, here at the station, plum pleasing pleasure to have the two of you on the show with us today.
Thank you.
Right. So, you know, I can pretty much speak on behalf of Watkins Broadcasting and our president, R.J. Watkins, that we are very, very pleased to have had this pre-Christmas show with the two of you, because we know that next Thursday is going to be the holiday.
That's right.
And we know that Truth to Power will not be on before the holiday. Mm-hmm. We'll be back next Friday, but we want to let everybody know now how much we really appreciate all the people. Yeah. And I couldn't think of two better guests to have on the show than the two of you to wind down this interesting year that we've had 47 in office.
A heck of a year. A nightmare unfolding. You talk about, you know, there was a movie called Horror on such and such street. Horror on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. They should put a movie together on that.
Well, let me ask you both. So we've got 2026 just around the corner. What do you foresee? I'll ask you both. What do you foresee? Because, we've got a lot of people that are vying for support in 2026, from the gubernatorial race to the Senate races to some of the local races. We thought that this was interesting with this mayoral race here, but we got a lot of work still left to do. Livonia, you always talk about it in terms of saying that the work didn't start today, it started yesterday. And what do you foresee, Livonia, for 2026? Because we know we've got the top three. We've got the governor's race, we've got the attorney general's race, we've got the secretary of state's race, we've got the Senate race. We've got all these state officials with state reps that are running. We've got other communities that have local races with mayoral, city council. I know Highland Park has got a race coming up for mayor. So what do you see, Livonia? I'm not asking you for any predictions, but what do you see in terms of, say, that you're really keeping your finger on the pulse of?
Well, I hope that people know that it is a privilege as a civic citizen to be able to run for office. That it is truly something. I always admire people who decide to run for office also. It is not an easy job to get up and decide that you're going to represent a city or a state. So those individuals who are out there today, who are thinking about or who have decided that they're going to run for office, they should be commended. Then there is another group of people that are thinking about running for office. They should just get a job. Let me say that again. You should get a job and not run for office. There's that group of people. And then there's another group of people that should know that they don't have to run for office, but they can participate in the government and the structure by supporting individuals who are running for office. That they can be a part of history, making history by working and or volunteering or supporting someone that's running for office. Three groups. So everybody who is listening and watching this show can all participate in the process. Everybody. Even your children, they can put the flyers out while you sit in the car. Put the flyers out. Everybody should understand, though, it is their responsibility to look after their community and their zip code. Right. That's a very key information. Very key. Yeah. It doesn't start overnight. It starts before you even decide that you're going to run for office, or you find out somebody is going to run for office. And keep in mind, so I won't forget it, I have to remember this, that even after the person is in office, civic engagement does not stop. So where am I going with this? So those individuals, this is really simple to me. There are many folk who are running for office, many positions open. There should not be a conversation one more time in Detroit, Michigan, or anywhere that I'm listening, that 9 people are running for one office. There shouldn't be 9 people in a restaurant or in the kitchen. Somebody's going to mess up and get 9 people should not run for one particular office. At least 7 of you should get a job. Let me say that again. 9 people running, 7 should get a job. 2 might be the good one, and there's 1 good one. The reason that we were successful in the city of Detroit in terms of the mayor's position, that we had an individual or individuals who understood politics, the game, the 101 politics. 101 politics says find the best individuals to run. Right. Support those people volunteer-wise and financially. That's exactly what happened. So it didn't go your way, maybe. Maybe your candidate didn't get in, but you played a role in it. That's right. Be happy that you did. And we came out successfully. Yes. Think about that, guys. So we have an example of how that should happen. As I pass it on to Roy, 9 people running, 7 of you all should get a job.
One of the things that when you run for politics, or you run for a political office, I'll say that, it's about caring about the people. You know, a lot of folks have a personal agenda, and that is to get a job. You have a lot of folks that are in there to say, oh, this is just my stepping stone to what my next level, what I really want to do. It is about the people. Your heart should be for and about the people. That's the bottom line. If you don't have a concern for what the people are about, what their concerns are, then you're not going to make it. Just bottom line. Just the bottom line. Because the people they want you, just like you said, Lauren, it is not about, oh, I'm going out here and visit all these people while I'm running. Then when I get in office, oh, I ain't got to do it no more. It's even more so now. Because people want to see you. They elected you, not a staff member. They elected you. They want to talk to you personally. You know, I used to say when COVID came, COVID was one of the best things for me because I could put on a mask when I went into the grocery store. But, you know, a lot of times when I went to the grocery store, what may take me 20 minutes would take me an hour and a half because I'm listening and talking to people because they want to be able to talk to you. And if you do not have the ability to sit down and listen to what people's concerns are, because that's what you're there for, their concerns, then like LaWanda said, get you another job. Get you another job.
Well, see, I always said that sometimes elections separate the contenders from the pretenders.
Yes, sir.
Because you have some people pretending to ascend to the throne.
Yes, sir.
But they really, just like you said, Roy, they have no real intent to really want to be, because they're looking at that as a stepping stone to something else that they want to do. And the other thing is that you see some people that run for office, and then if they're not successful, some people disappear and then come back 2 or 4 or whatever years later. And then people ask, like that Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately? And that's the thing that people need to still stay active, still stay in the community, still do things, volunteer, as we were saying about, like at the hospitals, volunteer in terms of, say, at the food banks and other places, but to volunteer, you know. And community service is something that you're really trying to instill in a lot of young people. Because there are schools that have their young people to do community service. And we need to do more of that. But the important part is we need to make certain that people get out and vote. Livonia, in all the years that we did the radio show together, we always told people the day before the election or the week before the election, make sure you get out and vote. And not just you vote, but take souls to the polls.
Yes, sir.
It's about money and votes. Roy, you know exactly what I'm talking
about.
Yeah. It's about money and votes. We have to say it out loud. If we don't say it out loud, that if we have a candidate and we're serious about a candidate, we support that candidate. You're so right about by voting for that candidate. On the way there to the success of that candidate, you might want to drop a $5 bill or $50 bill or boots on the ground, knocking on doors. That's the cash, and it comes in so many different ways to get your candidate to the finish line in terms of being successful. But if one thing I've learned here in the city of Detroit, I didn't quite understand it, and you know I've talked to you about it a long time. How is it that people get up in the morning at 8 o'clock and at 9 o'clock they decide they want to run for office? What? What are you talking about? There's somebody running already. There's someone, and I'm not saying the person's not qualified. The person that's already in the motion of running is probably qualified. And you might be qualified, but it's kind of late. You get up at 8 o'clock and you want to go sign some papers at 9, and then you become one of those many individuals who really cause havoc in the pool of people who are voting. Now, let me go back. This is back in the day again. Coleman Young wouldn't let that happen.
That's right. That's right.
Buddy Battle didn't let that happen.
Charlie Primus
didn't let that happen. Wait a minute. In New York, was it the mafia people? They selected, just saying what I know, who was going to run for office. Might not be your person, but people came together and said, we're going to pool our money in here, and we're going to pool our boots on the ground, and we're going to spend our time making sure Roy is elected.
But I want to elaborate on something like that. It's just like you said, back in the days of Coleman Young, Buddy Battle, Charlie Primus, it is also the fact too is that we have so many endorsements that are going on now. Before, it used to be a time if you got endorsed, that means that they took care of your literature, they bought your T-shirts, they had people at the polls for you, they did everything. Phone banking, everything. But now, this system that, you want our endorsement, and you're paying for it, that's one thing. And you don't really get all the benefits that they used to do back in the day. And so that's another, I think, issue and problem that we're having.
I'm trying to figure out it's almost like me saying, you come to me and say, I really want to take you out, but we had this conversation, but you're going to pay the bill.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Have you lost your mind?
You asked me to take me out. That's right.
You asked me.
And you want me to pay.
And you want me to pay? Wait a minute. It's just like, I don't understand that, Roy. Yeah. I'm glad you brought it up. Let's say it out loud.
Yeah.
You
got to bring it out, yeah.
There are organizations today, right now, that will say, we're going to interview you for our endorsement, but you got to pay for the endorsement. Wait a minute. I got to pay you to endorse me? And you're not going to give me a T-shirt,
right?
No boots on the ground,
right?
And you're not making phone calls,
right?
I got some friends who in college or high school or incarcerated who can do that for free.
Yeah. That's what I had to bring up.
It's the truth, though, am I right?
Yes, that's ma'am.
People are asking folk that you pay me for the endorsement. How does that work? You have to tell me, does it work?
And so you're both right, because there's a lot of people out here that don't know the political landscape. They don't know how things are done in the political landscape.
Right.
And it's sad when you see one person saying that they're running for office, and the next thing you know, here 20,000 other people decide they want to run for that office. It's sad too to see when you see somebody running and somebody will pay somebody else to run just to upset everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Put candidates in there to be, the word is called spoilers, to spoil the ballot, to spoil the process, so that it's enough trying to think about who you're going to vote for a particular office. But then when you see another person entering the race, you're like, oh, Lord. And then by the time that the election rolls around, instead of it being the top two, you're seeing 22. And the race that seems like it really garners a whole lot of people, it used to be city council. Because there were times when they had like 40, 50 people.
100-some people.
Running, especially when those seats were at large.
That's right. That's right.
That's one thing that the districts did, was it narrowed the field down.
Right.
So you don't see 50 people running for that one district seat compared to when it was at large. And now the thing is with school board, because I remember that my organization, we hosted a candidate forum when there were 63 candidates.
One of those 63 candidates did not have a high school education and could not read. That's a fact. I'm just saying. Running for the school board.
And the other thing too is bringing this up is you have, just like you stated, might have a qualified candidate, but they may not have the money to pay. And that's what they're reaching out. Hey, I have these ideas, I have this vision. I'm just asking you to help me so I can perform this. But I don't have the money. So therefore, they're automatically knocked out of the process.
But see, that's something, Roy. I used to say this on the show with me and Livonia did the show all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You have people just trying to build their resumes up just to run, to say, I was a former candidate, or I ran for president, or I ran for city council or mayor or whatever the case may be, just so that they can have on that resume of theirs, former candidate for.
Again, that stepping stone.
Exactly.
That stepping
stone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because and sometimes that lifts up their credibility when it comes to something else that they want to run. It's like, okay, well, I wasn't successful yesterday, but maybe I'll have a better chance of being successful tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's where we tend to kind of look at. But I know, as we said, usually when you're having fun, time goes by real fast.
Yes, it does.
And I know we've got, not that long left before we got to wrap this segment up. I definitely want to invite you both to come back on the show again.
I'll always be back.
But the thing that I want to ask you both, and I'm going to give you each a time to kind of just reflect back on Livonia 2025. And also, what's in the horizon for you, Livonia, for 2026?
On the horizon for me is that the Congress of Black Women, we're going to be hosting a program, civic engagement for youth. We're going to look at doing what you have been doing and doing what you've been doing, speaking to young adults, training them to be the Roys of the world and the Darwins of the world.
Thank you.
And other folk who have already been there, share that information, pass it on. Civics is no longer in the schools. We already know that. That's an old story.
Yes.
So the Congress of Black Women, the Metro Detroit Congress of Black Women, we're going to build an institute where we're going to teach and educate and train how to be a civic engaged citizen, starting from the 7th grade through the 12th grade. Because one thing we found out is that you and your organization already have the college and young adults already covered. You already registered people to vote. Your organization is always doing wonderful things. APRI. Always doing wonderful things. And so NAACP, they're already there. Urban League. You're already doing some work. But there's a group of people, we've just talked about it, in the 7th grade, in the 12th grade. By the time you get to the 12th grade, you guys go out and speak and says, you need to register and vote. Think about it. You're in the auditorium and you give them the piece of paper. There's some 12th graders sitting there like, what are they talking about? Why are they giving me this paper? By the time I'm saying, let's start with the 7th grade. So when they get to you in the 12th grade, they understand why they're filling out a voter registration form. That's one. And number 2, I'll be back on the air come 2026. And one more thing. If you are interested in anything that deals with communications and you want to come to Wayne County Community College and you want to be in my class, all you have to do is email me at LavoniaPerryman@gmail.com. I teach cyber solutions. I teach YouTube, all kinds of programs that people really don't know about. I teach you how to use your phone, how to use your computer, and how to communicate. Under Dr. Ivy, bless his heart. I am over there at the Northwestern West Outer Drive campus, and we start classes end of January, and I will be one of the adjunct professors again at Wayne County Community College.
All right.
And also stay tuned, because Livonia, you usually see Livonia on Election Day, usually giving her profound expertise about election results, as well as what happened, why it happened, and who it happened to. So, I don't know which stations, because everybody's trying to pull Livonia from Channel 4, 2, 7, 62, all these stations, trying to get her expertise, political analysis of elections. So stay tuned to see her doing that as well. Roy.
You know, mental health is always, like I said, it's been big for me. Since COVID, prior to COVID, but since COVID, we've had so many issues as far as people going through the crisis of mental health. And when I talk about mental health, I say, you know, mental health is not the crisis that someone, the psychosis that someone, or the drama that someone is going. Mental health is everyday life, because you could be, everything could be going well for you, and something can change. Something can change in your finances. Something can change in your health. Something can change as a person making a transition. Something can change with a family member. Something can change at work. I mean, we have a lot of folks that are now struggling with the issue because the brick and mortar is now saying you got to come back to work full time. And people are struggling with that because now it's like, how do I handle child care? How do I handle pet care? How do I make sure that I'm home when my child gets home? You know, these are the things that we look at as far as mental health. And so a lot of times even our mental health workers need assistance and help. So that's one of the things that I want to continue to do as far as mental health. The other thing, and me and you have talked about this, Darwin, is collaboration and bringing people together, structure. Because we are so, we're here, we're there, we're just so spread out. And as long as we stay spread out, we would never come into the understanding as far as what is really going on and putting that good information out, as you have do so elegantly, Livonia. And so therefore we need to be coming together. And I would love to come to your class and even speak at your class. You know, because that's the things too, Darwin, that we need to be doing also. Because our young people are coming in and they are looking, and they're looking for somebody to guide them. Because again, a lot of this information that's on this is not, as we talked about earlier, it's not correct.
That's what I'm teaching.
And they need to be hearing this. So these are the things that we need to be looking at and we need to be coming together on as far as making sure that we educate these folks that's coming up behind us. Because we are all getting to that age. At some point, we're going to have to sit back on that couch. And if we don't educate, we don't give them the tools that they need, then what is going to happen to not only our communities, but as to our structure and our culture and our nation? These are the things that I'm looking at. The final thing is I also want to get back involved with our veterans, because our veterans, you know, me being a veteran, you know, a lot of times they are overlooked in some of the things that are happening to them. Because when I was on Disabled American Veterans, our Director of Operations, I looked at the things that's happening to them. And we have so many people that are up in Washington that have never donned the uniform or really don't understand, but they're making decisions of what's happening to these folks. And a lot of them are getting overlooked because of that. So these are the things. Finally, I did say it was 3, but finally, our midterm elections. We have to make sure that folks get out there, because this election, just like this past one, this midterm is going to be very important, because it's not only with our state, but it's also with our country, of how things needs to be. So those are some of the things I look forward to in 2026, as well as being back on the show when you invite me,
That's
sir.
right. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Well, you know, as I've told you, Roy, and I'll tell you, Livonia, you both have open invitations to come back. This was a great show. There was a lot of good information that was disseminated out from both of you. And there's more information for 2026 that we know needs to be disseminated out, you know, as well. So again, on behalf of Watkins Broadcasting, on behalf of WHPR, and definitely on behalf of Truth to Power, I could not have thought of a better bringing of people together than Livonia Pearman.
Thank you.
Roy McAllister.
Thank you so very much.
And again, my heart goes out to both of you in terms of to have a very, very Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
And to your families.
Same to you, and God bless you.
This is Truth to Power. I'm your host, Darwin Griffin, and we will be signing off today. And we hope that you have had a very, very pleasant, whatever holiday, whatever season that you are celebrating. But we hope that it is a very prosperous one. We hope that it is a very peaceful one. And we hope that you will contact seniors in your life and let them know how much you love them and how much you want to make certain that you wrap your arms around them to safeguard them so that everybody, in the sound of my voice and the sight of their eyes, can have a very, very, very happy New Year and a very Merry Christmas. Have a blessed rest of this day.
God bless you.